everyone, and welcome back to Learn Japanese Pod with me, Alex, and today I'm interviewing the amazing Niko of Nihongo Shark. So it's been a while. I wanted to catch up with him, find out what's going on, and what we'll do today is we'll just talk to Niko. He'll tell us a little bit about what Nihongo Shark is for those of you who don't already know him. And then we'll talk about what he's been up to recently, because we're catching up. And then we'll talk about maybe our plans for 2018, and then maybe end on talking about some aspect about Japanese culture or maybe the language, something like that. Niko, does that sound good?
Yeah, sounds good to me, man.
Awesome. So first of all, ohisashiburi.
Yeah, seriously.
It's been a long time, man, and it's probably a bit late to wish you this, but Happy New Year. Although we're already well into 2018.
Yeah, Happy New Year.
Happy New Year. So I haven't seen you for ages, so this is the Catch Up with Niko podcast. Yeah. And actually, you were on the podcast last year, and we talked about this and that. But just very quickly, for people who don't know you yet, and your awesomeness, Niko, what is Nihongo Shark? What's all that about? Where do you start?
That's a great question.
So modest.
I don't know. Like in 2012, I remember I was a nerd for Japanese, and then I learned how to make websites. And I was like, oh, I should make a website on like how to learn Japanese. So like I went and made this website, and then I got like imposter syndrome. So, I was like, well, I can't teach Japanese because I suck at Japanese. So then I didn't update the site for like years.
Right.
But then I learned Japanese, and I got really good at it. Or so they tell me. And yeah, it just got fun to write articles and kind of, share study tactics and materials that are not terrible. But like there's really good stuff now, but that like there weren't these good things like a few years back.
Are you kidding me? I love your site. I think it's awesome. You British are so modest. So it's a fantastic site for pretty serious students of Japanese. And I think the thing I love about Nihongo Shark is it seems that one of the themes of your site is you're teaching people how to teach themselves Japanese. So you're teaching them all these techniques, memory, how to learn kanji, how to learn the writing system, how to read, how to converse more fluently.
Yeah,
so there's a lot of really cool stuff on the site. There's a huge amount of resources up there. You're churning out a hell of a lot of lessons, aren't you?
Yeah, so like it started as like how to learn Japanese, and like I would just introduce different resources and books and all this other stuff. But then, I got good enough to write lessons, and then my lovely wife is Japanese. So like I have a native person I can refer to be like, is the stuff I'm writing in this lesson correct? Because like, you don't want to like put something out that's not correct, because I do read things like that a lot.
Yeah, and there's a lot of, even like professional sites, I've seen some dictionaries.
Yeah, like really.
Have mistakes on them. Yeah.
Dictionaries are the worst, right? So like I also have like a job doing like writing and translating projects for a editing company in Tokyo, right?
Right.
And my editor is this Japanese guy who's like, he's really good at English if he reads it, but like he can't speak very well at all.
Right.
But like he like edited like a dictionary, right? So he knows a lot of English. And I always have to explain things to him, and he'd be like, well, the dictionary says blah, blah, blah. And I'll be like, oh yeah, well, I think it's wrong.
Yeah, right.
And so like, but in the reverse is like, obviously our dictionary for Japanese is wrong too. A lot of the time. Not always, it's getting better, but like a lot of stuff is not that good.
I see when I'm actually kind of checking out Japanese words, I sometimes use Weblio, which is like a very popular online Japanese dictionary.
I use Weblio a lot.
And Weblio is kind of cool. The good thing about Weblio is they have really good example sentences, but the problem is a lot of the sentences are a little esoteric. They're a little weird.
Yeah.
And sometimes they're just wrong, or they're
Well,
very,
if you're
they
not
use
careful,
very
like
unnatural.
Weblio like has these like user submitted sentences on there that are whack. They're like crazy. You have to be really careful when you look at their like
Right.
Reibun section. It's like some of them are not. Yeah.
I didn't realize they were user submitted.
Now you can look at like in the fine print, it says like the source. And if it says like Weblio whatever or something, it's like some random dude is just writing that sentence.
Oh,
and like,
yeah, no, stop that now.
hey, do you ever like look up like Japanese Yahoo? Like you look up what's the meaning of this word and you see some Japanese person has written like a question about English. Like, how do I say nani nani in English? And then like someone has like the most ridiculous answer on there, like a Japanese person.
Right.
And like, how do you have the confidence to say this is how you say something when like it's so wrong?
There's actually a term for that. It's the less knowledgeable you are about a topic, the higher the potential that you think you're really skilled at it. So it's like inversely proportional. So it means like you don't know anything about a subject, but you're probably more likely to say that you're an expert.
Yeah.
But the better you get, the more you realize the less you know. So basically, the better you get, the more humble you are. So people listening to this, you can see Niko's very humble. That's a sign that his Japanese is actually really good. But it's that adage where a little knowledge is dangerous, right?
Yeah,
so,
I guess so.
I did one class of jiu-jitsu. I can take anyone on. So it's that kind of thing. But yeah, I think in Japan, English education is, I think there's no nice way to say this. It's atrocious. I think around the shogakko level, like the elementary school level, I think English education is fantastic. But in state schools, in middle school and high school, they teach some pretty funky English. And a lot of it is very, very, they teach it in a very academic way. They teach English how I learned Latin, like a dead language. Like we would just do translations. Because it's not like you practice Latin to buy a cafe latte at your local hipster coffee joint, right? You only use Latin purely for reading, right?
So like right now, I'm doing a proofreading job for this company, and it's like one of like the really big ones that I don't know. I'll probably get sued or something if I say who it is, but they're publishing the textbooks for middle school students, like all of Japan.
Right.
I mean, all of the public schools. And so I have to proofread these books, right?
Oh, you poor man. Poor man.
Yeah. First of all, the English is written by Japanese people.
Oh.
But like they think it's okay because I'm checking it, I guess.
Right.
But then I'll check it and I'll say, oh, let's change this. It's not that natural. And they'll be like, oh, we can't use that word. Can't use that word. And I have my favorite example of all time was actually, it's a different project, but we were doing something and they had the word giseisha, like a victim of like a natural disaster or something.
Right.
Gisei means like sacrifice, victim, and then sha is person, right? So giseisha. And I wrote something like I translated the sentence and it was something like disaster victims or something.
Yeah.
And they said, "Oh, can we change that to disaster sufferers?"
Oh.
And I was like,
nope.
Yeah, I don't think so, because disaster victims is a lot more common to say than disaster sufferer.
Yeah. Well,
there were 3,000 disaster sufferers.
If you really, at a stretch, you'd say something like, we really suffered as a result of the disaster. There are many people in Tohoku still suffering, but when you're talking about there were 23 deaths or 47 victims.
Yeah. In summary, I lost that argument and the book says sufferers.
I'm holding my head with my hands at the moment in disbelief.
That's like the tip of the iceberg. Today I had a sentence that they wrote. It's for those middle school kids, poor kids. Yeah. And it said something like, oh, I don't want to go up there. I'm afraid of high places. And I put, let's say afraid of heights. Afraid of heights,
Yeah.
No, we can't do that. We don't have the word heights in this book. So
Yeah, right. So it sounds like
Yeah.
what they're trying to do, that this is like typically you're trying to bend the language
yeah,
into rules. So it sounds to me like they've been given a quota. This is the word list.
yeah,
You've got to use these words.
yeah,
You've got to use this grammar. You've got to use it in this way. Make everything bend
yeah.
to
And a
that.
Japanese person made the list of words, which is like the best part.
Oh Lord. Yeah, so I think like one thing they teach really badly in Japan is how to learn vocabulary.
Yeah,
And as you know from your experience, all that reading you've done in Japanese increased your Japanese vocabulary, right?
yeah, of course.
And, like the number, basically, people probably don't want to hear this. The number one way to improve your vocabulary is to read it in context. So you've got to actually read.
I think that gets more true as you get to a higher level. Also.
Absolutely. I mean, when you're a beginner, maybe you're just learning single words.
Yeah, when you're a beginner, trying to read anything is like torture.
Yeah, it's super hard. It's really hard. But
speaking of word lists, right? So
yeah,
we've been working on like a new vocabulary course for like forever. It's been like it's just
what's the name of this vocabulary course?
I don't know. It's gonna be incorporated into Hacking Japanese Super Course.
The Hacking Japanese Super Course can be found at nihongoshark.com, right?
Yeah.
Cool.
If anyone can spell that.
I can't English anymore. So tell us more about this vocabulary thing you've been working on then.
Oh, just so on my site and in my courses, I'm always like, oh, here's some good like books or websites or Anki decks. Anki's a flashcard program, so Anki decks for learning Japanese vocabulary, and like it's good stuff. I mean, it's what I learned with, but it's not great stuff.
What?
And so,
don't say
it's
that.
not. Yeah. So
You're
I wanted
being,
to
by the way, but
yeah.
can I just interject here? Sorry. By the way, everyone, Niko's being really modest. I'm sure it's really good. And the stuff I've seen so far is excellent.
So I had like this great idea is like, I took, they used to publish these official vocabulary lists at the Japan Foundation for the JLPT.
Right.
And they don't publish them anymore, but I got one of those.
Hello, Ray.
Hey, look at Ray's goggles.
Hey!
Oh, those are awesome.
Yeah, she's like,
Nande.
she's in the lab right now. She's making soap.
Oh, awesome. Oh, your second's good to do. Oh, sugoi. Ina. Wow.
Yeah. And not yet. It's like halfway. Maybe like in 15 minutes. Huh? Sorry, I was talking to her.
What? Wait. What? They put like lime in it or something really dangerous.
Lie, right? Yeah. That's why like...
Lie. Sorry,
yeah,
lie.
people can't see, obviously, because it's a podcast, but Ray has like these like industrial lab goggles, and like she wears like a mask and like makes soap. It's like her new thing.
Oh, yeah. Awesome. Cool. Oh, can I purchase a bar of Ray's soap?
They're not for sale yet, but in time, yes. I'm trying to get her to set up a shop.
I should put you in touch with Makikomo, who's a good friend of mine. She made her own soap here in Japan.
Oh, no way.
And I think she put it on Etsy.com. It's really cool. She doesn't make it anymore.
Yeah.
But I should put those two in touch because she has a bit of experience making soap. Anyway, as you were saying.
Yeah, I would love to like open a soap shop in like some like Shoten guy in Japan and like lose all my money.
But don't call it soap.
Yeah, seriously. Well, I was talking about vocabulary courses.
So let's go back to vocabulary. So you're talking about vocabulary.
Yeah, and so I thought I had a great idea for a vocab course, and it was I was taking these lists from Japan Foundation, and I was like, okay, well, let's just start with like JLPT 543. So the first 3 levels. That's like 3,000 words about, which is a lot. It's a solid chunk of vocabulary. And I got Ray, my wife, and I told her, so what we're going to do is take these words and we're going to write sentences for them. But every sentence can only have one new word in it. So like never, like you can't have two new words in any sentence. Because I think learning with sentences is super helpful, but if you don't know like 5 words in the sentence,
It's demoralizing.
It's just super depressing.
By the way, just to let you know, a good friend of mine, she's studying TOEIC at the moment, and she read to me, this is a real sentence. It's the onlookers looked on in dismay as the elephant charged into the crowd. The onlookers looked on in dismay as the elephant charged into the crowd. So what they're doing is, okay, they're teaching the word onlookers, look on in dismay, charge into, it's like, it's too much, people. It's too much.
Yeah. Also, like, I write a lot of TOEIC tests for work.
Oh, you poor man.
And I can tell you that that's not going to show up on TOEIC. There's a thing called the TOEIC world. And in the TOEIC world, people go to workshops for business. No one dies or gets in car crashes. You get stuck in traffic, but you don't die.
Yeah, right.
No one gets hospitalized. There's no elephants. There are if you go on like a safari tour.
Yeah.
It's like, it's a whole thing. I'm really tired of teaching TOEIC stuff.
It's a shame because TOEIC could be cool.
Oh, yeah.
And the problem is the disconnect between, I think it just boils down to frequency. Like, how frequently do you use the word?
Yeah, and it's like the goal of TOEIC is like, they just want you to be able to like write business emails and stuff. It's not to like make friends or be a person in the English speaking world.
Or have a life.
Or any of that stuff.
The businessman officiated the report. Yeah, it's just and just like weird grammar. Like, it wasn't that I couldn't have gone.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, come on, guys. It's like you'd never use this stuff.
Yeah, trust me, it's my life story.
So you've got this cool like vocabulary list embedded in your Japanese super hacking course.
Yeah, and it turned out that making that vocabulary list of sentences is really hard. I mean, I didn't write the sentences, like Ray wrote most of them because I don't want any non-native people to write anything for the website.
Yeah, sure.
So, she finished writing them a couple months ago, and then I finished translating them like a month ago. And then right now we're just adding like notes and we have proofreaders checking the sentences. And then I got to hire voice actors, make flashcards, etc. So maybe in like a month or two, it'll be incorporated into Hacking Japanese Supercourse.
Fantastic. That's
and then like I can finally say like, if you want to learn vocab, just go do this because it's just one word at a time. And they're in sentences with nice native audio. So
that's fantastic. So
it's what I want for every language.
Who do you think would benefit most from the Japanese super hacking course on nihongoshark.com?
At the moment, I would say people like anyone below N3 would do really well, right?
Right.
But we're going to release like a new version, maybe like in a few months or so. And it's like Hacking Japanese super course on steroids. So
awesome.
And that I think would be good for anyone. Like there's stuff in there that I use now.
I've logged into your website and some of
how dare you?
It's great. I love the course because one of my favorite things is when you were doing the emails and you would take a random sentence that you'd heard but in real life, and then you'd kind of talk about first what it means. You broke down the sentence, how you'd use it naturally in conversation, and there's also like the cultural background to it. So you'd be looking at like one of them you're talking about this sentence. It was just from like an anime, and it was just like very natural everyday Japanese that you really find not in a
textbook,
JLPT N1 textbook. And I think that's what's so awesome about it. That's what's so good because the thing is like JLPT, I think up to level 3 is a very, very fair test of your Japanese. And actually, I do recommend doing it. But then
for sure.
But when you come to Japan, that's when you really start learning real Japanese, real everyday Japanese.
Yeah.
The N2 is I would say 50% academic nonsense, but 50%, again, it's still a fair test.
And it's also
sorry.
And level 1 is, it's super obscure. And both of those tests are mostly just, they're a line on your resume, you know?
Yeah.
A lot of companies, they won't even hire you if you're not N2 level.
Yeah, absolutely.
And you can't get a translating job if you're not N1, even though like you'll never translate a lot of the grammar that they make you learn.
A lot of people ask me, like, should I do the JLPT? And I say, absolutely, yeah, do.
Yeah, it's great to have goals, right? And like,
yeah.
And like, it's really hard to know how good you're getting at a language, I think. It's like, I've been studying for hundreds of hours and I suck. It's how it feels. But, you know, that if a test tells you, oh, you only suck this much, then, you know, that's okay.
Well, no, I think it's all about like sucking less every day. And what's his name? Kazutomo, that guy who does Japanese all the time, every day.
Something like that, yeah. I remember reading about that a long time ago.
His Japanese is kick-ass.
Like, do they still have that site? I don't even know. I think
he does, yeah.
Okay.
I've heard him speak Japanese. I hang out with him once, and his Japanese is
cool.
It's amazing. Like, he's really, really good.
No way.
He's one of the best Japanese, foreign, non-native Japanese speakers I've ever met, and he's like the most modest guy you've ever heard. He said, oh, well, I just try to suck less every day. I would say with the JLPT test, you can look at your actual score. So you do JLPT N5, N4, N3, or N2, and you'll have a certain score. But I think for me, what's more important is like, how easy or hard did it feel? So if you did that N4 and it was super easy, you can confidently say that you're N4. But if you're like, you barely passed it, you know, is that kind of feeling that I'm like barely treading water?
That
it's
was
that
me
feeling
that was me in 2012, I guess, December.
No way.
I took N2 and after the test I was like, well, I failed that, right? And then you know, a couple months later, because I moved to Japan in January of 2013. So that was right after that. I got the test results and I passed by like 1 point or something.
Right. Wow. Well done.
I was like, oh, sweet. But I couldn't even hold a conversation very well. Like, I was terrible. Just because I was learning in California from books. I never spoke to anyone. Like, I didn't take lessons because I'm really shy and I just don't like meeting people on the phone and stuff.
Yeah, right.
So
and
like,
a Skype lesson would be too kind of, you know, too much of a hassle as well, right?
Yeah, I do them now, right? But I didn't back then because like it was scary and I never had before.
Yeah.
And then, so then I am like holding N2. And like, I remember like I got there to teach English. That's how I got a visa.
Cool.
But I did not want to teach English.
Right.
And so I applied for some job at like, I don't even know. It was like proofreading somewhere. And I went to this like temp agency and took an interview.
Right.
And they like brought in this like, they brought in this Japanese guy and there's like I think she was an American chick sitting next to him.
Right.
And they're like, we're going to do your interview. And then before he came in, she was like, I'm going to bring in a Japanese person to like check your Japanese level or something.
Oh,
like,
gosh. Yeah.
And like, I was so like I had no idea like how they do things in Japan. Right. And so like this guy like asked me to like introduce myself, you know, because they do that in Japan.
Yeah.
And like, I don't remember exactly what I said, but it was something like, oh yeah, I'm, you know, Nick, and like I do all this stuff and like blah, blah, blah. How about you?
And then eyebrows were raised, right?
And then he froze up completely because you're not supposed to ask someone like, it's not a conversation, you know, this is Japan. You give your self intro and then, you know, I'm Niko and this is my resume in spoken form that I've rehearsed 20,000 times.
Right.
At the end, yoroshiku onegaishimasu.
Right.
And so like, I was like, oh yeah. How about you? Like, have you ever been to California?
Well, I mean, there is that aspect of business in Japan that I think for Westerners, it is very formal.
Yeah.
It depends on the company. Like if you're talking to an IT startup, they're cooler than you are. They've all got hipster beards and they're drinking cafe lattes and they're, hey, dude.
Yeah. This is like, I was like in like a 40-story building in like Shinjuku, right?
It can be pretty stuffy and conventional. Yeah, right. Interesting. Wow.
Yeah. I did not get the job, believe it or not.
Oh, you poor man.
But the chick, the girl, she told me after, she was like, yeah, you got to work on your spoken Japanese. You have all kinds of problems. She's like, you passed the written test. Because they gave me a written test first. She's like, the test is fine, but this is not good. Like, you got to get better and come back. And I got better and never came back.
Good for you. You went and did your own thing. It was the best thing that never happened to you.
Yeah, maybe not the best, but yeah, it was one thing that never happened to me.
It was one thing that never happened. So when I joined the JET program, I went to the interview and I did the Jiko Shokai in Japanese. And I kind of sucked, but I did get the job because I think in their wisdom, they wanted to hire people who didn't have great Japanese skills. They didn't want to hire the people who are
so good that they're not going to teach English. Yeah,
because they want you to learn. Right. It's not only that you're on the JET program that you're coming to Japan to impart your culture and way of thinking to the Japanese, but the idea is to also that you get to learn about Japan too. And working in a Japanese office environment for 2 years, my gosh, my Japanese really, really improved quickly. Although
I can imagine.
It was in Miyazaki dialect. So
I really want to go to Kyushu though.
It's amazing. Kyushu's great. You should really visit. It's really chill. People are super friendly. It really does feel it doesn't feel like Tokyo at all. Tokyo really does feel like an island, right? I'm sure you felt
in
that
Japan,
way.
Yeah.
And the minute you kind of get out of Tokyo, I mean, like most countries, right? New York isn't like
it's a different country then,
right? Yeah. So let me ask you another question. I just want to kind of steer this conversation to one topic about kind of learning Japanese in general. And the theme I want to talk to you about is overwhelm. So getting overwhelmed. So this is a really common question I get from a lot of my listeners. It's like, I love Japanese. I want to study Japanese. I'm not motivated, but I don't know what to study. And when I open my book, I just feel overwhelmed because there's kanji and there's katakana and there's all this stuff. And I get like frozen up and I get confused and I don't know what to study. What should I do? So have you ever had that kind of question before?
Yeah, I get that question a lot.
Right.
And I mean, I was overwhelmed too. And I actually quit. I learned for a few years, quit for a few years, a couple years.
Right.
And I think it's easy to point at resources, be like, I don't like this, my book sucked, or this lesson is confusing, or I didn't have a teacher, or I live in Oklahoma, no one speaks Japanese.
Right.
But I think my problem was always that, I would go on Google or something. I Google how long does it take to learn Japanese? I used to do that all the time.
Right.
And I wasn't even trying to find out how long it takes to learn Japanese. I was just thinking I can't learn Japanese.
Yeah, right. It's too hard.
Because what I thought, I don't know.
I'll never do it.
It doesn't help that everyone told me that when I was a kid.
Yeah.
Right. I was I want to be a ninja when I grow up. They're oh, you can't learn Japanese, so you better be an investment banker.
Oh, right.
So I think what I'm trying to say is if you have a study system, so not just randomly, I'm gonna study this book today that I bought 2 months ago, and then I'm gonna watch Netflix tomorrow. It's
wait, you're talking about me? How did you know I did?
Yeah. I mean, I'm not saying don't watch Netflix. I'm just saying you should have some kind of routine that you stick to, And in the routine, you should be reviewing content that you've learned before and learning content that you have not learned before. And if you do that consistently over a long period of time, you will learn anything in the world. But like, it's really, really hard to have faith that you are going to learn whatever it is if it takes, hundreds or thousands of hours. Because like, it only takes like, hundreds of hours to like be able to have friends and like enjoy Japanese. But if you want to like be a translator, if you want to, I don't know, start a company in Japan or do something like really high level, like you're looking at like a solid couple thousand hours of studying. But studying gets a lot more fun after the first few hundred hours too. It's hard to see that at the beginning. It's like all you see is yourself failing every day for a long time.
I think what you're also getting at is interesting. So, if you just want to hang out with friends, could be a couple of 100 hours of study. If you want to come here on holiday, maybe not even that. If you want to be a translator,
just use English.
just use English, right? Learn enough kanji, learn the kanji for the bathroom, and you're fine. And then, but if you wanted to become a translator, then that could be thousands and thousands and years of study, right? It takes a very, very long time. So
I think you could do it. I think you could do it in like somewhere under 2,000 hours to be a translator.
No way.
I mean, I don't know how good you'll be.
Yeah, well, I think I would have thought being a translator is an ongoing career. It's not like, now I'm a translator. It's like you're always improving your skills, increasing your vocabulary, and also like I think a lot of translators when they start with general stuff, and then they go into a niche. Like they'll do legal translation.
Yeah, I mean, if you don't want to be starving, you should do something specific. So like, everyone's like, I'm going to be a translator, and then if you want to translate like anime or something, like you're in trouble because people are doing it for free.
Right.
But if you want to translate like some technical guides for like Toyota or something, like you might do all right. Or like financial statements for Bloomberg, stuff like that. Like
when you're doing specialist stuff, there's good money there. But there's also competition and you have to be good, right?
But I mean, let's say like I'm going to learn Japanese and I want to have like a career using Japanese. I think deciding like I'm going to be a translator is not like the best. I used to think I wanted to be a translator forever. It was like my dream job. And like I kind of translate now, but not that much. And now that I have translated a bit, like it's not my dream job. And my dream job is something that like I make up. It's not like posted on a job board, So, for example, I have like 2 jobs right now, and they're both because I speak Japanese. One is running, Nihongo Shark. I get to teach people Japanese, which is the coolest. And then the other one is this writing translating job. The reason I got that is I was teaching English at an eikaiwa in Tokyo. And I had this student taking one-on-one lessons, and he was working for a publishing company or something like that. And he used to bring in these books they're making, and he'd be like, can you help me write these sentences or check these? And then he said something along the lines of, oh, you're really good at this. And then it was, and you're really good at Japanese.
Right.
And so we just worked together more and more. And 2014, Ray and I decided we were going to move to Thailand, and for no reason. And at the same time, that same student decided to leave his publishing company and start his own company doing editing work. And he just basically asked me to be his partner. I mean, I'm on the board of directors at his company, but I'm not, I don't know what partner means, but it's like a really cool job. Like he just emails me more work than I can do. And like, if I want to do it, I do it. And if I don't, I don't. And like, I work like from home.
I think now we're in our interconnected internet age, we are now able to create these new jobs that when we were back in high school, our career advisors couldn't even imagine would exist.
Yeah.
What would you like to do in the future? Yeah, well, I'd like to do a hybrid proofreading and Japanese online language learning website job.
Yeah.
Sure, no problem. Like they didn't even know that would exist.
That's exactly my point, though, right? I did not know that existed when I started. I thought I wanted to be a translator because people talk about that. I knew what that was. But now that I'm at this level, like there's so many things I could be doing because I can speak Japanese and English. It's really exciting, but I have to calm down and like not do all the things because I'm kind of impulsive, so I'm trying to be cool.
I think creatives like us, we actually, if anything, it's not.
Yeah.
We never run out of ideas. It's trying to just choose one and execute one idea instead of like spreading yourself out thinly. In my case, what I kind of feel now, like I've been in Japan like 20 something years. I studied music at school. I studied Japanese just because I was into it. I was just a Japanese nerd. I wasn't into anime or manga or anything like that. I just like languages. Now, somehow, I've ended up producing Learn Japanese Pod, which is can't tell you how much fun it is. I mean, Nihongo Shark, I imagine, is a hell of a lot of work, but it's also, you wouldn't do it unless you love doing it, right?
Yeah, it's like the most work I've done in my life, but I really do enjoy it, yeah.
I always say that Niko is the hardest working man in the online Japanese learning education world.
Well, I thank you very much. Oh, so you know how we have daily lessons, right?
Yeah.
So, and like we've basically, the first like 300 were just random casual language and stuff. Basically everything you described earlier.
Yeah, cool.
But I finally got organized around lesson like 300 and we started doing JLPT lessons, you know?
Cool.
Awesome. Monday through Friday was like N54321.
Yeah.
And then after we finished N5, it was N44321.
Right.
And then right now we're doing like travel lessons on the weekend.
Right.
And anyways, the point of that is, do you know how many lessons we've written so far?
This was my next question. You must have so many lessons. This must be great. Yeah. How many do you have?
We have, hold on, I can check. We're on I just wrote the last one, so I should remember, but I don't. So tomorrow, people will receive lesson number 689.
My gosh, that's amazing.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Have you thought about like publishing a physical book?
I don't know.
We should do it, man. We should do it.
Hey, I'm going to send you a link. I just published a book in Japan. Yeah, well, hold on. I'll send it to you.
Oh,
there's actually a drawing of me on the cover.
What?
Yeah.
Can I read this out?
Yeah, I'm going to send it. Here's the link on Amazon.
Okay. Oh my gosh. Okay, I'm clicking on the link. This is very exciting. Going to Amazon. 超リアル英語フレーズ360. Oh, that's hilarious. And that's you on the front. That's hilarious.
Yeah, that's me. It's a cartoon image of me.
Oh, that's hilarious. So this is a 360 natural phrases for Japanese people learning English.
Yeah, it's like they're mostly like super common idioms that I've never heard Japanese people use.
Wow. Did you publish this by yourself, or this is through a publisher, or what?
Nah, it's just my editor was like, maybe a couple of years ago, I had told him about really common idioms that there are thousands that we use in English, but Japanese people seem to never understand them. Like when I speak English to Japanese people. Yeah. And I was like, we could write like a really cool book about it. And like, I just kind of mentioned it like offhand.
I might buy that for my friends of mine.
Yeah. And then maybe 6 months ago or so, he was like, oh, so I found a publisher who wants to publish that book.
No way.
I was like, what?
You know, if I had another 10 hours in the day, I would love to do an English podcast for Japanese people.
Yeah.
And it would just be like, so you know all that stuff that you learned in school? No, just stop it. This is how you really do English.
Yeah. I think you should do that.
But again, that's another 27 hours in the day I don't have, but that would be cool.
Anyways, yeah, so there you go. I am a published author. Yeah.
I'll send this on to my Japanese friends. It says order within 23 hours 48 minutes with expedited shipping. Additional fees apply from Amazon Prime members. Yeah, cool, man. Awesome. Good stuff. That's one more book than I have.
And write like 20 5-star reviews so that they ask me to publish like series or something.
Oh, will do. Yeah. I'll,
Although we have one review and it's 5 stars right now.
Oh, awesome. Let's see what the review says. Let's have a look here. So this is from Amazon customer.
Yeah, you don't want to read that whole thing, right? It's pretty long.
まず誰でも PW なしで自由アクセスできる音声無料ダウンロードこれがいいです. So you're saying, oh, it's awesome that you have these free downloads with it.
I'm very impressed with your reading abilities, Alex.
But although you say that in this next word, I don't understand. TOEFL seminar.
Yeah, that's a TOEFL seminar. Yeah.
TOEFL seminar no HP うちにあり.
What is this mysterious word? Oh, it's English.
Oh, it's English. You know, I think we've talked about this before that in the JLPT, Chinese people and Koreans kick our ass, basically Westerners.
Oh, yeah.
At the JLPT because Koreans have the grammar advantage because their grammar is very similar to Japanese. Chinese have the kanji advantage. So Koreans and Chinese totally kick Westerners' asses. Although I feel really sorry for Chinese and Koreans when they have to do the katakana section.
Yeah.
So they're looking at all these katakana words, which I barely understand, right? And it's like they're learning katakana from another language. It would be just so, that would be a bit
fun. It's learning English in Japanese. It's really weird.
Okay, Niko, let's wrap this up. Just briefly, where can we find you? Nihongoshark.com?
Yeah, Nihongo. I think I spelled that right. Shark.
Yeah, right. Because I'm smart. SMARTTRT.
Something like that.
Nihongoshark.com. Do you have any kind of social media kind of stuff people can find you at? Or,
oh, yeah. You should, we have Facebook, but it's, we have a Facebook and we post on it, but I don't really check Facebook very often. But other people take care of it. But you should check out our Instagram. Have you seen it?
Instagram? No, I haven't.
Instagram.com/NihongoShark.
It's almost too easy. Instagram.com/NihongoShark.
I can just send you a link to it right in a second. So we have really sweet kanji images on our Instagram.
Let me have a look at this.
Oh, and in the first photo, you can see that's Caleb. Caleb used to be a student of mine.
No way.
And then we partnered up, and now he's building new website, and he's eventually going to build an app for Nihongo Shark and stuff.
Oh, fantastic!
Yeah.
He's scrubbed up well in that picture. He's wearing a hakama and he's standing next to woman in a kimono.
His
wife.
Yeah.
Beautiful picture. That's amazing. What have we got here? Oh, I'm liking these.
The kanji
day.
Yeah.
Oh, that's cool. Very stylish. Who puts that together?
Caleb does everything. Yeah, I don't do any of the Instagram stuff.
Oh, very nice.
I'll respond to comments and stuff, but I don't really post anything just because I'm terrible at social media. I hardly carry a phone usually.
Niko, can I just say, you're terrible at social media. How dare you?
Yeah, I am. It's true.
I'm terrible too. But hey, Nihongo Shark's amazing. Go check it out, people. Hey, Niko, thank you so much. It was awesome speaking to you. And let's do this again soon. And maybe we'll do some Japanese dialogues or some vocabulary, or maybe we'll go into some grammar in depth.
Maybe we should do a series.
We could do a series. How about that? Hey, listen, if you want to ask Niko a question, you can go find him on his website, or just send me a question. I'll ask him on your behalf. Email me at info@learnjapanesepod.com. Find us on Facebook at Learn Japanese Pod. Just do a search. You can find us on Twitter at twitter.com/Japanese podcast, because they wouldn't let me do Learn Japanese Pod. What else? That's it. Niko, thank you so much.
Oh yeah, thank you, Alex. Wait, so do you like you like memorize all those links and stuff like for every episode?
I've just said that like a million times, so
it sounded like very nice and fluid. I was very impressed.
The rest of the podcast I always mess up, but it's just the links at the end I get because I just do it over and over again. There you go, people. Repetition.
Robot Alex kicks in, yeah.
Robot Alex kicks in, yeah. Just like the base of my brain takes over and I go into automation mode. But hey, Niko, it's wonderful. It's been a while since I spoke to you. Let's not wait too long. Let's do this again.
Yeah, very much too long.
Maybe we can do a series. Let's think about something cool we can do together. And I look forward to speaking to you again on the podcast.
Same here. Arigato.
Arigato. Mata ne.